You guys know what roast battle is? So
is that what you're talking about with like
it was a show.
What's the kid's name? David Lucas does.
Yeah, David Lucas does it, sure. But like, so it mainly known like started at the Comedy Store with
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe has done it a bunch of times
Okay.
and has judged it a lot. But yeah, he's a roaster, obviously.
Okay.
Jeff Ross is a big part of it. He's the one that got the show on Comedy Central. But basically, two comedians go head to head talking shit on each other.
Right.
And then the audience decides, or judges decide who wins. And I kind of fell into doing that in a really backwards way where I used to go to the show and watch it. I was like, this is insane. The energy is out off the hook. People at a normal comedy show will laugh. They might hit the table a little bit. They might clap. They might woo. At Roast Battle, people were slamming the fucking walls when a joke hit. They were like, chop his fucking head off. Finish him. And I was like, this is nuts, dude. And this is happening Tuesday night at midnight. So I was like, how did Tuesday become the best fucking night of the week? This is incredible. So I started doing it and very quickly realized that I was good at it. I was a good joke writer. And so for over a year, I was there's rankings, right?
Yeah.
Top 50 rankings. I was number one for over a year. And I started to get bored because the analogy that I always use is like, I was really good at Mario Kart as a kid. I was really good. I played like all the time. It was my favorite video game, but I was always in the lead. So the only thing I would ever do was just toss a banana peel behind me and just keep trying to be in the lead. But it's not fun to be in the lead. It's fun to chase. Mm-hmm. You want someone ahead of you that you can be gunning for. So I started thinking of all these ways where it's like, how can I like not set myself up to lose, but how can I just increase the difficulty level and change the game? And so I had a title bout against my friend Pat Barker, and this is like November 2016, and I was out at this festival, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking battle wearing this. And my friend my friend Jeff Chung, who loves the show, was like, do it. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, do it. So
You're just handing him ammunition.
Exactly. Well, that's the way I looked at it, right? I was like, I'm going to go out there like an animal. And I went out there in a trench coat, with electronic music playing, and I had all of my friends like throw glow sticks at me from the audience and shit as soon as I dropped the trench coat. And I'm standing there wearing this unitard that is so form-fitting and this blue glow-in-the-dark tail that I put lights on. And everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Because everyone knew who I was. Like, I'd done this so many times. And Pat Barker is such a good joke writer. We're still very good friends. He was flabbergasted. He had no idea what to do. And I threw him off so much, because I wasn't talking like this. I was like, ooh, it's Pat Barker, everyone. Look at him, Fat Porker. What's your name again? Like doing this like stupid voice. And I beat him. And people didn't expect me. Like, he didn't expect me to. And even Jeff Ross was like, Pat, take a second. Just fucking look at him right now. Just stop. Don't worry about your jokes. Look at this fucking asshole and what he's wearing right now. And people thought, half the community was like, that was the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in Roast Battle. You just leveled up what we're allowed to do here. And half the people were like, you cheated. That wasn't you. And I was like, 100%. That's actually, and what I realized is that's the most fucking me I've ever been on that show.
Yeah.
I was just having fun and being silly. There was no aggression or anything like that. And then right after I did that, I got a call from Comedy Central literally a month later saying that I was going to be on season 2 of Roast Battle. Like, I was one of the 16 people selected to go to the main show. And that was this moment where I was like, okay, so I do this thing. 2 months later, I'm on Comedy Central. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want from now on. And I'm going to start incorporating all this silly world shit that I play, that people don't really know about, into my comedy. And amazing. I don't go on stage all the time like wearing that shit. Like the really extravagant costumes, like what I wear on AGT and stuff like that, that's very much like just for that. But I will go on stage wearing like, you know, kimonos and things, and just like, and I was scared for a long time to do it. I was really scared because I thought, how is anyone going to take me seriously if I'm wearing this shit? And what I realized is, people actually find me more authentic and more genuine, because even if you wouldn't wear this, you're looking at a person who very much knows who they are and is very comfortable with themselves. So you listen to them because you're like, okay, well, whatever this guy's doing, he knows who he is. So he's coming from a place of truth. And that's everything in comedy. And that's when I figured out, like, I can do whatever I want. I can be whatever I want as long as it comes from my heart. And then, bam, from that day on, I was like, this is game over, everybody.
Wow.
I'm running.
Order the kimonos now.
But yeah, dude, it was such a defining moment for me. And yeah, and then it also, though, for the show, because it also, like, if you watch season 2 of Roast Battle, every single person on there is pretty much, a couple people wear some fun outfits and stuff, but I was like, I'm going to play a different game here. And this is going to be, I showed people that, like, it doesn't have to be 2 fat guys wearing flannel calling each other rapists. Like, we can do better than this, guys. And so, yeah, I think of the show. I just think of, like, how do you make the show better? And the more entertaining I am, the better the show is.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
What is, like, is there a different mindset or preparation when it comes to, like, roast battles versus, like, regular stand-up?
Yeah, it's so different because, like, Roast Battle is so specific. Like, if I look at you guys, I have to start really, like, looking at you. Okay, do they remind me of anybody? Like, that's why I dropped, like, J.J. Abrams if he flunked out of skateboarding. You know, honestly, you look like if Colorado opened a meth dispensary, and I just, it's
Hell yeah.
It's just one of those quick. Like, I have to kind of I look at you and I sum you up as quick as possible. But then, what really good roasters do is you learn about the person. I would start researching you. I would listen to your podcast. I would figure out little tips that other people would have no idea of knowing, because then I can make it even more personal. And the jokes are very specifically catered, and the whole thing is you want them to hit hard and you want them to be fast for the most part. Like, word economy is everything. Make it as short as possible. But stand-up is totally different than that, because you're not writing about a specific person. Well, you are. I mean, yourself a lot, but your relationship to the world. But what Roast Battle did for me is it made me go, I need to have so many more jokes in my stand-up. Like, I don't ever want to, if I say a line, the next line has to be a joke. And even if the bit is 5 minutes long, it needs to contain 20 jokes within that 5 minutes, instead of building to just one thing over the course of a story or something like that.
Right.
So it made me such a better writer, and then I was able to incorporate that into my stand-up. And anyone will tell you, just because you're a good stand-up doesn't mean you're a good roaster, and just because you're a roaster doesn't mean you're a good stand-up. I happen to have found that I can use my skills for both, but if I turn on my roasting brain, it is a little different than me just doing stand-up, mainly because I consider myself very empathetic, compassionate, kind. I really come from a place of love. So if I don't know that I have the okay to, like, roast you guys a little bit, I'm not going to do it, because most people don't want to be made fun of.
Yeah.
It's like their worst nightmare. For me, I fucking love it. It made me love myself. Hearing of myself be called a billion different names and I can tell you, I mean, dude, I'll give you some good ones. Like, my very first roast battle ever. This one hurt me the most. This guy, Jason Van Glass, was my first roast battle, said, Alex looks like Two-Face if Two-Face was one face. And I stood there, and I thought I would be okay with it. But here's the thing.
Fuck.
It's not that you don't know what you look like. It's the moment when 100 people laugh at you because of it. And you're standing on stage being laughed at. It is such a different beast than what stand-up is. Because stand-up, yeah, they're laughing with you. You're making jokes. Roast battle, I tell everyone this before they do it, you are going to be laughed at, and you need to understand that you're about to be bullied. And yes, you can fight back, you can have redemption, you can rebuttal and get them back even harder, but just understand you're about to have the fucking guts pulled out of you in front of people. And I've had that done on live television. Like, it is brutal. So it made me really go, like, okay, who can hurt me then? Who can hurt me?
Right. After doing something like that.